Hey, how's it going everyone? MLT Magic Tricks here. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you a performance and tutorial for this really cool self-working style card trick that is definitely going to impress your audience. So I would start off this trick by giving this small pack of cards just a quick mix-up. I will also give the cards a few cuts just to randomize the order a little bit. So once again, as you can see here, we are just using a small pack of cards for the trick. I would first ask my spectator to think of a number between 1 and 10 because they're going to deal that number of cards from the top of the pack to the bottom. So I'm going to write down the numbers here throughout the performance so we can keep track. Let's say for this first one, my spectator is thinking of the number 4. The magician is going to be turned around at this point, and my spectator would go ahead and do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. The magician's going to turn back around, take out the cards here, and explain to the spectator and reassure them, they could have thought of any number between 1 and 10. The spectator would say their number out loud for the first time. They would say 4. The magician would tell them to turn over the top card, and they would see the value actually matches up with their number, which is pretty cool. So we're going to try this again here. The spectator is going to think of a number, once again, between 1 and 10. In this case, let's say it is the number 6. The magician would be turned around. The spectator is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you as a magician are going to tell your spectator to deal an additional number of cards and then turn over the final one. That number is going to be 8. So the spectator would go ahead and do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They would turn over the 8th card and see somehow the value of this card matches their second thought of number, which is pretty cool. So we're going to take this a step further here because you as a magician are going to give your spectator the number first. You're going to tell them the number first. So my number as a magician is going to be 6. And once again, the spectator is going to do the same thing here where they're thinking of their number in their head. Let's say their number this time is 3. Magician's turned around. Spectator goes 1, 2, 3. They're also going to deal 6 because that is the number that the magician just had gave him at the start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to turn over the 6th card, and magically the value of this card matches the spectator's third thought of number, which is pretty insane. And guys, we're going to do this one last time for the finale of the trick. So the spectator is going to think of one final number between 1 and 10. Let's say it's 7. Okay, magician's turned around. Spectator is going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once they are done, the magician is going to face the spectator here and tell them just to deal cards onto the table, and you as a magician are going to tell them to stop at some point. So the spectator here is going to deal cards onto the table. Let's say you tell them to stop at this point. Where they stop, the spectator is going to turn over the card, and once again, guys, the card they turn over, this 7, matches their thought of number for the last time. So that is the trick. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's really cool. Everything will make sense for how to perform it in the tutorial. So make sure you watch that because we're going to do it right now. All right, guys, let's get right into the tutorial for this trick. All you're going to need is 11 cards. You're going to take out ace through 10 and a joker. The suits do not matter. You're just concerned with the values. Start with the ace on top, followed in numerical order with the joker on the bottom. From here, you're ready to go. You can go up to your spectator, give the pack a few cuts directly in half. Make sure you're just changing the position, not the order. So, just as long as you're cutting the pack right in half like that, you're good to go. Just doing one cut. And from here, you're going to need to take a peek at the top card in the pack at this point. What you can do is just riffle off the cards and tell them, we're just using this small packet. Flick up the top one a little bit so you can peek at it quickly. In this case, it is a 4. For the tutorial, we're going to take a look at it together here. So you're going to need to remember this value because it's going to get you to your first key number in the trick. And the way you calculate that is simply taking this value and subtracting it from the number 12. So 12 minus 4 is 8. You're going to keep the number 8 in this case in the back of your head. At this point, tell your spectator to think of a number between 1 and 10 because they're going to deal that amount of cards from the top right to the bottom. Make sure you give the clear instructions. You can also give a little demonstration just like that, but make sure you get the card back in the right order. So in this case, let's say the spectator for this first number is thinking of the number 3. I'm just going to write the numbers down as we go so we can keep track. You're going to turn around at this point and your spectator is going to deal that number of cards that they're thinking of from the top to the bottom. 1, 2, 3. You're not going to know the number at this point. You're turned around. Once they are done, they're going to let you know. You're going to turn and face them, and you're going to grab the pack of cards. What you're doing here is spreading out, and you're spreading to the number 8, which is our key number at this point. So you're spreading out. You're counting in your head 3, 6, 7. Once you get to the 8th card right here, you're simply going to cut it right to the top. So once again, you've turned back around, you've grabbed the pack, you've got to your key number, you're cutting that right to the top just like that. From here, you'd ask your spectator for the first time to say the number that they were thinking of in their head out loud. They would say 3, tell them to turn over the top card, and the value of this card is going to match the number that they are thinking of, which is really cool. That's how it's going to work because of how the deck is set up at this point. From here, you're noting the number 3. You're doing the same thing to get your second key number. 12 minus 3 is 9. Now you're keeping the number 9 in the back of your head. You can forget about the first one. You're just moving on to the second key number here, which is 9. Once again, 12 minus 3 to get 9. You have that in the back of your mind right here. Your spectator is going to do the same thing. You tell them, okay, go ahead and think of a number between 1 and 10. Once again, let's say in this case, it's 5. Okay, they're keeping that number 5 in their head. You're turned around. Your spectator's going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like that. Okay. Once they have done that, you're still turned around. After your spectator's dealt that number, you're going to tell them to deal an additional number of cards, and the number you give them is going to be that key number that you have in your head right now, which is 9. You tell them to do the same thing, deal 9 cards, and turn over the 9th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once they get to this 9th one, it's going to be right here. You're going to tell them to turn it over, and it will match the second number that they thought of. So that is really cool. This is part 2 of the trick. There's 4 total parts, guys. I'm going to leave the timestamps in the description so you can easily reference the parts of the tutorial when you are practicing this trick. So the value 5 is on top. Same thing, you get your third key value. 12 minus 5 is 7. You're thinking of the number 7 in the back of your mind right now. The spectator is going to, once again, think of a number between 1 and 10. Let's say it's 4. Now for this third part of the trick here, what you're doing is actually you're gonna switch it up just a little bit. You're basically doing the same thing, but all you're gonna say is, I'm gonna give you my number first. You tell them it's 7, and then they have the number in their head. You're turned around. 1, 2, 3, 4. You tell them, okay, go ahead and do the same thing we just did with my number 7. They're going to turn over the 7th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom, there you go. It matches up just like that for the third time. Now here is the finale of the trick, the final part, fourth and final one. Same thing to get your key number. 12 minus 4 is 8. You're thinking of the number 8 here. Your spectator is going to think of, again, a number between 1 and 10. Let's say the final one is 6. Okay. You're turned around. They're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, after they are done, they need to let you know because you're going to turn around and face them. And here is the last part. It's pretty cool how this works. You're going to tell your spectator to deal cards from the top onto the table. Your spectator is still holding the pack at this point. Now, once they get to the key number that you have in your head, you're going to tell them to stop. Remember, our final key number is 8. 12 minus 4 is 8. So that's why you still need to remember that key, your final key number at this point. They're going to deal. You're looking out for the 8th card. You need to tell them to stop at that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Obviously, your spectator's not going to be counting out loud. They're just going to be dealing. You need to mentally count in your head. Tell them to stop once they get to that card. They're going to deal it down. You tell them to stop. Instruct them to turn it over. And boom, it will match up with their 4th and final thought of number. And it will absolutely blow their mind. This trick is really cool, super powerful. Just practice it. It will work, trust me. You just gotta, practice, memorize the steps, and you'll be good to go. You also, guys, of course, don't have to perform all 4 parts. You can just do like the first 3 or first 2 if you want to start. So you build up your skill level with the trick. That's gonna do it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in my next one. Peace out.